You are not responsible for other people's opinion of you. Let me say that again. You are not responsible for other people's opinion of you. Hi everyone, welcome to the Highest Version Podcast. And on this podcast, we talk about falling in love with the process of getting better every day and becoming the highest version of ourselves. On today's episode, we're going to talk about letting go of the past. This is something that I am still struggling with. I have talked to my therapist and done many exercises to try and understand how to let go of the past. However, it's still lingering. And I just don't know why. Do you struggle with this as much as I do? Do you know someone who also struggles with this? Let's talk about it. Now, I have done some research to understand why it's hard for some people to let go of the past, whether that's a past relationship, traumatic experience, or just something that you regret. These events are linked to intense negative emotions such as guilt, regret, and anger. Guilt is an emotion that tells us that we violated some rule or norm. The feeling of regret communicates that we wish we did something different or something better from our past. Anger is an emotion that tells us that something was just unjust or unfair. Because of the experience that I went through, it relates to hurting people that I really cared about. And the feelings that I experienced were regret and shame. Now, these two emotions are very hard to wear for such a very long time. The truth is, the decisions I made then that I regret and feel shameful about, I let those define me. I made it part of my identity. While other people moved on, I still constantly think about it. It's something that's really hard to forget, but I want to move on the pathway to where I can forgive myself. I think the thing that I'm really scared about, and maybe a part of it is the reason why I hold on to it, is because I just don't want to be perceived as a bad person again. Now, at the time, because I cared so much about what people thought of me and their opinions, I took those opinions and those words and made it my identity, which threw out the original identity that I had for myself coming out of high school. I let other people define who I am instead of remembering who the real Randy is. But when you're in that mindset of figuring out who you are and what your true identity is, how can other people's opinions not influence that, right? You're still figuring yourself out, trying new things, building a new identity, making decisions that you've never made before. But this is where I really need to learn and understand to not care about what other people think. So how can I do this? I need to understand no matter what, someone will have an opinion about what I do in my life, good or bad. Unfortunately, there's a lot of judgment in this world and you can't escape it. We all have different upbringings that shape how we think everyone should live their life. Not all opinions will be positive, but also not all opinions will be negative. You can either look at it as, yay, nobody cares, or sadly, nobody cares. You are not responsible for other people's opinion of you. Let me say that again. You are not responsible for other people's opinion of you. I say you know who you truly are. You just have to remind yourself. In my case, I made a decision that made people think I was a bad person. But when looking at my situation at that time, I was doing what I thought was best for me. I was confused and didn't really know what I wanted, but I still made the decision anyways. And you know what? That bit me in the ass because I didn't think it through, and that's okay. Are we not allowed to learn from our mistakes? Are we not allowed to continue to move forward and change the narrative of our lives? As I'm speaking about this, it ignites just this fire within me because we are the authors of our own book called Life. We write the chapters. We put the words on paper. So in order to let go, I need to reframe the narrative of how I perceived myself at that time when I was making those decisions. Either I realized what I did wasn't actually as bad as I thought it was, or I fully accept that it was a mistake and I learned from it. I take in the lessons of what to do next time and to not do those things ever again. We live and we learn. We are not defined by just one decision of our lives. We are defined by the accumulative decisions in our lives. Right now, I want to speak to myself and to those who are struggling to let go of the past. Speaking in a way as if I'm my own best friend or someone else came up to me and asked me they were struggling with the same things that I'm talking about right now, and what advice I would give them to give them hope, to inspire them, to just bring a little bit more positivity to their lives on this whole entire situation about letting go of the past. Whatever it is that you cannot let go of, whether that's a past relationship, a regret, or an experience that you cannot stop thinking about, you have the capability to move on. You have the power to move forward. Do not let these things define who you are as a person. You are the one that defines you and no one else. Other people's opinions will try to insert themselves as you try to figure out who you are and what your identity is, but all you have to say is, I hear you. I hear you, and I would make the choice to either take that criticism or say, I disagree. I define who I am, and I'm now releasing the things that are clinging me to the past. How can we allow the beautiful things that are coming into our life if we are so engulfed with what happened in the past? We must live in the now because that is what is important. What's in front of us is important. I love you, and you are so much more than what the past defines you as. Take the opportunity ahead and allow yourself to take a step forward. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this episode inspired you and gave you the confidence that you can let go of the past. It's about changing the narrative and learning what you need to move forward. It's about how you define yourself and no one else. If you like this episode, please feel free to share, like it, subscribe. And as always, guys, let's fall in love with the process of getting better every day and becoming the highest version of ourselves. I love you.